Hi guys, I'm Krista and this is my big sister Stacey and this is Sister's Social Call.
We are two sisters talking about everything that sisters talk about. Welcome to our lives.
Hi sissy. That was a pretty slick new intro.
Yes, it was so fitting that we would have new music and a new intro on our music episode.
Yes, we're gonna have a little chitty chat about music today. This is exciting because Stacey and I are both music lovers.
We chose to change her up a little bit because it's not because we didn't like our intro. Actually, we really did. But we needed some new music. And so some new royalty-free, unlimited free music. So we are grateful for the gift economy. We talked a little bit about that last week and to find us some new tunes. So sis, why don't you get into a little bit more about what's happening today in our sister social call?
Well, last week we had a bit of a heavier topic. I mean, we discussed our books and then we got on the topic of loneliness. So we thought we should have something a little bit more fun this week and lighten it up a bit. We decided we were going to talk about music. We're not super music nerds, but we both really enjoy music and have a deep appreciation for musicians and their art. We want you to get to know us a bit better about the music we like, the concerts we've been to, and at the end we'll have our first little sister versus sister debate. Sis, why don't you start off by sharing with the listeners your favorite music to listen to and the bands you like?
Yeah, well, I have a pretty wide-ranging music interest. It really covers everything from top 40 to almost everything in between, but I have no love for death metal, and I don't really like country music. There's a tiny little bit of country music I like, but...
Boo.
Chrissy's booing me. And my favorite bands, well, they've changed throughout the years, probably very similar to many people. As a child, I loved New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys. I still do love boy bands. But you can catch me listening to oldies. I absolutely adore Fleetwood Mac. Like, oh, Stevie Nicks. She just hits me in the feels every time. Sometimes you'll catch me to the Doors, to Elton John, Rolling Stones. And then from more modern music, I do love Dave Matthews Band, the Tragically Hip, and some lesser known bands like Half Moon Run and Lord Huron, or the Revivalists, War on Drugs. Those are some of my go-tos. And I say that I don't like country music, but it sneaks into my life sometimes. And this is bluegrass, but there's some country vibes to it. But I really do love Regina's band, The Dead South. Actually, in my car, I really like to belt out Taylor Swift. I know I talked about that a few episodes ago in my reality TV and guilty pleasures. I really got into the love story, so I really got deep into the music. But if I had to pick an era of like Taylor Swift, it was her Reputation album. So I'm not like a totally new Swiftie. I am not an OG that listened to her country music at all. But as much as I don't love country, I have a love for Garth Brooks. Christy and I have some really great memories of Garth Brooks growing up. Sometimes you'll catch me listening to Garth Brooks too. Not very often, but you will catch me listening to him.
His classic. One of the kings of country music for sure.
Yeah. But my guiltiest pleasure...
I love this guilty pleasure of yours as far as music goes. It makes me happy. Yeah.
Is like 90s rap and R&B. I know many...
90s R&B?
Oh gosh. Like, yeah, it brings... like Usher and...
Usher. It's one of mine too. I didn't know that about you. Like, I knew 90s hip-hop, but not 90s R&B.
I made out endlessly to Usher's album. I don't even know which one it was, but my high school...
Shut up right now. I need to hear so much more about this.
There's nothing more to really say, but like high school boyfriend is a basketball player. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but it just brings me back to being 16.
Guys, I just learned something about my sister and I always feel like I know everything. My jaw is on the floor. Oh my God. I'm like, in my head, I've got Usher, he's totally a guilty pleasure of mine too. I can't believe we have that in common and we didn't even know.
That is crazy. Yeah, no, I do love Usher. He's been touring and I've seen some social media clips and the ladies are just swoony. And I get it. He is so charismatic. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's his moves and his voice or just like he's got vibes.
He's got vibes, all right. That like TLC.
Yes. Yeah. That was one of my early CDs that I owned was TLC.
What about tell the listeners about your love for West Side Connection?
Again, I had a high school boyfriend that was a basketball player. Like Wu-Tang Clan, West Side Connection. There was a lot of that being played in my life at that time. Christy and I are NOD. And if you're from Regina, you will know what that means. We're north of Dooney. So like it shouldn't come as any surprise that there is like love for gangster rap too in our lives. We grew up north of Dooney. Like,
yeah, we're North Enders. Yeah.
And for those of you that did not grow up in Regina, don't know that reference, it's kind of like growing up on the wrong side of the tracks a little bit. But anyways, it's also nostalgic because of our high school dances. Nothing to me gets a dance floor going like Pony by Genuine or This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan. And
yeah,
my number one go-to, it's like my call to the dance floor, is Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison.
so good. You just blew my mind. It's Friday night and I can't even believe it.
What about you, Sissy? Why don't you tell the listeners what you're listening to?
Man, you guys, I just love music in general, like so much music. I listen to anything and everything, but again, same as my sister, I am not a fan of the death metal. Like I just can't get behind that no matter what. It's just not my jam. But oh man, some of the things that I love, love, love. I mean, it is ever changing, but I have to admit, I am a pretty large country music fan.
Do I get to boo you for that? You booed me for not liking country music. Do I get to boo you for liking country music?
Sure, yeah. Everything's on the table here. Like that's fair. Fine. Like we're good. I can take it cuz trust me, I get a lot of flack from a lot of people, but I love country music, but I also love alternative like Pearl Jam, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I guess you would call Florence and the Machine more indie, I would say. She's one of my all-time favorite. Again, love the classics. Fleetwood Mac, the Beatles, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. But then I really enjoy a lot of new age music as well. One type of music that I would say that probably would surprise you is I love good deep house music. Electronic frickin' beats get me going hard. Love.
This makes me so happy because there's like the time and the place, like in the car driving, so good to listen to that. It's on my bucket list, my 40s list to go to a huge EDM concert, like festival.
Okay, well, I've been Canmore days with my old boyfriend back then. We would go weekly to Zonas and there was always a DJ there. And we would go and we would dance and we'd do copious amounts of drugs and dance all night and have a great time. Like we just danced for hours and hours and hours and just felt the music. And I still love to do that. You know, in my life, if I'm feeling, kind of down and sad, there's certain music I like to listen to. And then if I, want to get the house cleaned and really get given her, I just pump up the music. I don't just get going. But I'm a true lover of country music, so Garth Brooks is definitely one of my top favorites. I love Luke Combs, Chris Stapleton, Sergil Simpson. These are some of more of the newer ones. I like some classic oldies, but I can't always remember the names of them. That's one thing I do suck at is remembering the names of all the bands and stuff. But when a good classic country song comes on, I can typically sing along to it. I love 90s R&B. The Usher song, You Got It Bad, came to my head. You got it bad. Salt and Pepper. Oh yeah, U2 as well. The Dave Matthews Band, Mumford and Sons, and some punk rock. Face to Face. Propaganda. Every once in a while, you just gotta take it back to the old school. So, anyways, we definitely have a lot of overlap. We've gone to some pretty big concerts together in our lifetime too, you and I, sis. We've done a few good ones. We've seen Dave Matthews Band twice, but please refresh me. I remember once out in BC.
Oh yeah, we went to Toronto.
We went to Toronto. Oh, correct. No, when did we do that?
Before Vancouver. Maybe you weren't there. But I've seen Dave Matthews twice, for sure. I saw him in Toronto and in Vancouver.
I don't know if I was at the Toronto one, Stacey.
Boy, well, I'm gonna have to see if I can have pictures from there to see who I went with, because it certainly wasn't Sean, because he does not like Dave Matthews.
Well, maybe it was me.
Maybe it was just Kim Pratis then.
That probably is more accurate. Like I remember the one out in BC. Definitely. That was great. We went to the Skookum Festival and that was um in in 2018 in Stanley Park, actually. It was a great music festival. It rained the whole time, but it was unbelievable. That festival was great. We had a really good time, sis. And that's where we got to see Florence and the Machine together. That was a whole thing of my life. We waited all freaking day pretty much close to the front of the stage just so that we would be up close when she came on, and she was everything and more. She's such a phenomenal singer, and she just powerful. When she sings, you just feel it in your body. So that was really cool. I remember we went to see you too. We went to see you too with Jay.
Yeah, in Calgary when I lived there. That was exciting.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a whole thing. I think Jay and I flew out
Huh.
for that. And then what else? Well, we used to go see lots of punk rock shows at the Exchange in Regina. That was a usual haunt of ours.
Sure did. Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, we've seen a lot of live music. I've seen Pearl Jam, I've seen AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. I used to work at the Canmore Hotel. They used to get live music in there tons. Like Tegan and Sarah had played there, Core Blunt, like crazy. This was way back in the day, forever ago. But they used to get incredible musicians in there who are now large. And, so I used to work there. It was great times in my life. What have been your favorite concerts, sis?
I do think that going to Skookum Music Festival and seeing Florence and the Machine was probably peak. Actually, I took Dad to the Rolling Stones when they were in Regina, and that was pretty awesome too. But I've had a few concert experiences where I didn't know some of the artists before that I saw them, and I was like, who is that? And I need to know more. And so that would be like AFI for some punk rock, and then like Dear Rouge. They are a band that Chrissy and I saw at Skookum, and then I fell in love with them. Half Moon Run and War on Drugs. And that was also at Skookum Festival with War on Drugs. And I was like, I gotta know more of them. So but one concert really sticks out in my mind as not necessarily my favorite, but like I saw them in a point in time where they were just about to blow up. And they're not necessarily one of my favorite bands, but I was out in Toronto for work. And then my office husband met me out there. We were going out there for a conference, and he's a true music lover. Like Rob loves music. And he gave me a choice before we left to go see two different artist bands. These were both before that they blew up. So one was Ed Sheeran and one was Imagine Dragons. And I chose Imagine Dragons, and our tickets were something like $17. And when I was in Toronto, I was visiting my girlfriend Kim, and we were watching Glee. I don't typically watch Glee, but we were watching Glee. And at the end of the episode, we were watching the Imagine Dragons song came on. And I was like, I'm seeing these guys in a few nights. And we went, and there was such a unique energy that I've never seen in a concert before, experienced that, where it's just like they were on the cusp of blowing up, and they did, like right after that. It was just like we saw something special that night, Rob and I, and it was just amazing. And then the next time they toured, you couldn't even get a ticket for less than $90. I tried, but I was like, nope, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, I really love live music so much. I miss it. We don't get a ton out in Invermere. We get live music, but it's often smaller unknown artists and cover bands. But yeah, we don't get too much. Last weekend, I actually traveled to Canmore to see live music, and I will save that conversation for our peaks, but like I'm willing to travel. Yeah. What about you, sis? Do you have any concerts that stick out in your mind?
Well, of course, Skookum was a great festival for both of us. That was peak for sure. Last year, Mark and I went to Craven, and I got to see Luke Combs. And Craven, or I guess it's called Country Thunder. Now it's a big country music festival. So I go to that when there's bands that I really want to see. So last year was Luke Combs was coming, and I just thought, well, what better place to see him than at an outdoor festival? And it was awesome. I just stood and danced the whole time and sang every single song It was great. I do remember like U2 really sticks out because it was me, you, and Jay together, and I thought that was really awesome. I loved seeing Guns N' Roses. And then, like, truly, when we got to go see Garth Brooks in Saskatoon, that was such an incredible concert. It was just amazing to see him live. One time in our life, I just felt so grateful for that. Yeah, I mean, Pearl Jam, hugely seeing that in Calgary was one of my favorites for a few different reasons. I got to see that concert with John, which was like a ex-boyfriend from way back in the day, but more importantly was with my friend Jay, who's no longer with us. He passed away from cancer, but it was just one of my favorite memories of all times because he was like an absolute die-hard music fan. That guy, he lived and breathed music and snowboarding. So to be with somebody who's such an unbelievable music fan at one of the greatest concerts with one of the greatest bands of all time, Pearl Jam, was pretty spectacular. So that one is one I'll always remember, and I'll always keep it really fondly close to my heart because that was probably one memory. Well, yeah, it was one of my favorite memories with Jay for sure. So Jay, not our brother, a friend of mine who's no longer with us. As I get older though, I don't love like big crowds of people as much anymore. And so even when we went to the Country Thunder last year, we were way at the back where there's the bleachers are. So Mark could just sit while I had my own dance party because that's where we're getting at in our life, you know? I do love live music, but I think I'm more of somebody who would prefer to go to a smaller, more intimate venue now than something like a big, crazy, jam-packed concert. I don't love that as much as I used to. So times have changed for sure, but I mean, honestly, if it's a really great band that's coming and I have to go see them, well, I'm going. I don't care what it is, but there's just not that many anymore that I'm like, I must go.
Oh, I have on my 40s list, I would like to go see a big concert. I had Lady Gaga on my list, and here she is touring, and I didn't get on that train. It just didn't feel like at the right time right now to go to a big concert in the world right now. But I do have it on my 40s list. Madonna would have been another great. I would even see J-Lo or Beyonce or Katy Perry, Taylor Swift. I would see any one of those large female singers because I think they put on such a performance, right? Like it's more than just singing. Like it's a whole thing.
That just does not interest me whatsoever. Like none of those people that you just listed, even where I was like, no, I wouldn't even spend. I know they're all great, fabulous musicians, but that just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I just was so impressed with Garth Brooks' showmanship, and that's why I want to see a female of equivalent fame and talent because it's just so impressive to see how they perform and how they entertain for hours.
I will give T Swift that. Her Eras tour probably would have been a spectacular show to see. Just the clips and stuff that I saw, I was very mind blown about how fit and how well, like an oiled machine she'd have to be to do what she did night after night and change. Like each show was unique in its own little way. Phenomenal. That's amazing. That's a true performers. Though I'm not diehard T Swift at all. I guess, yeah, I would say seeing that would probably be a pretty spectacular thing to see for sure. But more the entertainment of like the show than so much. I don't even think I could sing sing the lyrics to one of her songs, but
I think you'd be surprised.
I probably would because I just, there's so many songs that I play music all the time. I'm not a big TV watcher. I'd rather just turn on the tunes in the background and listen to music way more than just watch a TV show. So, you know what's another one that kind of gets me? This is kind of crazy, but like those pan flutes, like it's kind of tribal music, I would say, a little bit. Do you remember when we were in Vancouver, sis, and we were on the North Van, and there was the guy outside playing those flutes? Do you remember this?
Not at all.
I'm sure it was with you. Anyways, beautiful. And I love that. So sometimes if I'm having a bath, I put on like relaxing, like pan flute music, which is, I know it sounds crazy, but go listen afterwards and you'll see it's so beautiful.
That's going to have to be a social media post is you in the bathtub listening to some pan music. just please do that. Take a video of your feet just listening to pan music.
You can't just say pan. It's the pan flute.
Right. Pan flute. It's not a very well-known instrument to me.
I hope that you listen to a little bit tonight now that I've told you about it.
Don't worry,
And
I will.
you might be able to see it.
You brought up a pan flute.
Composing myself right now. I'm crying, I'm laughing so hard. Oh my God. Too funny. Okay, so anyways, we thought we'd like to try something kind of fun this week. And I mean, aside from the pan music fun, we would like to call this sister versus sister. We're a lot alike and very different in many ways, so we thought we should have a little debate about genres of music. Which music genre is better? Is a better guilty pleasure? 90s hip hop or country? Well, like, country's not a guilty pleasure to me. This is like my real life love of music. It's a pleasure, not even guilty. But anyways, you go ahead. Why don't you start us off with the debate here? I'm not a very good debater, so we'll see how I do.
Yeah. Well, this one is obviously an easy one for me. If I had to choose, I would definitely pick 90s hip hop or rap. Hip hop is a little bit older than Chrissy and I, but I really feel like it grew up with us, and we grew up with the artists. So even though Chrissy and I are white and recognize some of the privilege that comes with it, we listened to a lot of rap growing up. I remember listening to artists like NWA because of our brother Jay. He was listening to rap early days. And then we were listening to Run DMC and Beastie Boys quite a bit because of our friends at camp. And then I dated a basketball player, the same guy that I was referring to earlier. I was an athletic trainer in high school, and I spent hours in the gym, and they were listening to rap all the time. So that's where my guiltiest pleasures of Wu-Tang and West Side Connection come in from, is because of those days of spending hours in basketball practice and dating a basketball player and making out with a basketball player. And then Eminem really broke out in the late 90s. And I really respect that hip hop was born from struggle and resilience in the Black urban communities. And it gave a voice to social issues like inequality, racism, police brutality, and poverty. It's so impressive. The lyrics are so complex. I don't know how the rhythm, the rhyme, the wordplay, like, it's just poetically brilliant. I just have so much respect for the artists and who can do that. And so I believe it's also had such a huge impact on pop culture and fashion. Like, think of so many events that happened when we were growing up. Like, I really feel like the murder of Tupac was something quite pivotal in my memory of media in the 90s. And I think of hip hop styles like crisscross. Do you remember wearing clothes backwards?
Yes.
I so appreciate that they are really a pulse of many things in the modern world, bold and expressive and revolutionary. So yeah, I just have so much appreciation for it. So those are some of my points to debate. Sis, how about you in country music?
Well, there's country music is kind of like storytelling and simplicity. It's very straightforward and heartfelt. And I am a bit of a hopeless romantic. So there's a lot of really great love songs. And then it's beautiful music with like serious instrumental talent. I find the music to be very relatable to my life, my lifestyle, what I love, truly, my roots. So I think it's super relatable to the working class, small towns, heartbreak, resilience. I find maybe less aggressive than maybe hip hop. Country probably a little bit more emotional than and vulnerable, and lots of talking about missing people, forgiveness, peace in nature, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think musically, country music, there's the fiddle, there's the banjo, there's a guitar, there's bass guitars. There's so many diverse musical instruments that create country music that it's extremely impressive. For me, I'm just more really drawn to that deep, intense guitar, moody, emotional kind of feeling you can get from a good ballad and the melodies and all that kind of stuff. So I think even just the history of country music, it dates back to the early 1900s with, folk and they called it hillbilly music back then. So anyways, and it kind of moved into Jimmy Rogers and the Carter family and the fiddle and the banjo and the guitar and all that kind of stuff. And then, it moved into Western swing. Like it's evolved. Like country music has changed so much over the years. And in fact, even now, country and hip hop fusion.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing. It has been around for ever. And it's just, I think, very relatable music. I know that not everybody loves the sound of country, but country is so vast that there's definitely country for everybody out there. Even right now, Zach Bryan, he's huge. Tyler Childers, Sturgill Simpson, one of my faves. I love this guy. Kind of blues grassy, kind of country poppy. I don't know. But yeah, and then of course you've got your Garth Brooks, Shania Twains, Rebas. There's somebody for everybody in the country world. You got the Johnny Cash, like that's a little bit more bluesy, but country kind of. So I do think that the history of country music is far superior to that of hip hop. But I'm not counting out hip hop at all because I also do love that. But yeah, anyways, I just think that, yeah, I think country music has a really fantastic history. It's evolved. Anyway, country music's winning in my book, sis.
Well, I'm not surprised to hear that. Fair enough.
Yeah, I love country music. It just, oh, sometimes at the farm I get playing country music. I always wear my headphones when I'm out in the garden or I bring a speaker outside and I just get listening to the country music. It just, oh, it's so good. Anyways, but I think we've had a good chit chat today about music. What do you think?
Yeah, awesome. Maybe we should move on to our peaks, pits, and plans for the week.
Sure, yeah. Why don't you start us off, sis?
Oh, pits. I don't have any again this week. And you know what's awesome about doing peaks, pits, and plans every week is that it's since doing this, it has really made me aware that I often don't have pits. And that is beautiful. We've had a few, but like overall in my weeks, I'm like, oh, more often than not, we don't have any pits. It's so good. It's a good place to be.
Absolutely the best place to be. Certainly.
Yeah, so that's good. Peaks. Well, I alluded to it earlier that we were in Canmore for some live music. So we went to a little coffee shop in Canmore called Community, and Reuben in the Dark with the Bullhorn Singers were performing. And they did 2 shows that night. So they did an early show and a late show. And we went to the late show, and I was expecting it to be a very emotional show because when Bullhorn Singers perform with Reuben in the Dark, it is like fusion of indigenous and folk music that I've never experienced in my life before. It's resilient, it's healing, it's just so beautiful. And it was a beautiful performance. The first half was Reuben in the Dark performing, and then the second half the Bullhorn Singers came out, and it was just phenomenal. And it was such a small, intimate venue. There was maybe like 120 people. I don't even know if there was that many, but it was just unbelievable. And the sound is actually, for being a small venue, the sound was actually pretty good.
Yeah, you hadn't even told me about that yet this week. So that's my first review of how that went. That's awesome.
So good. And Canmore, just like hanging out with our friends, Alicia and Aaron in Canmore was really nice. It was raining and I forgot to pack my raincoat, so we didn't really get to like be outside for too much. But yeah, it was good to be back there. It's very different than when you live there, sis.
I know. I go back. Well, I was just there last year. I haven't got there this year. I'm really missing my peeps out there, but I don't even hardly even go into Canmore, to be totally honest. When I go out there, I usually stay in Lac des Arcs with Ryan and Nicole. And I did last year end up in Canmore with my friend Tan. I mean, that was always the plan, was to spend some time with her. But again, we don't go downtown anymore.
It was so unfamiliar to me. Like, even just getting my foot in, I'm like, oh, there's the wood. And I know that the wood is at the end of the road, but it just feels so different than when you live there. And like, obviously I know the Ho is right downtown, like right on the corner, but it was really hard for me to get grounded there in the locations because it's just so different.
It's not like it was back then. And honestly, it's crazy to think, but 20 years ago, it was still pretty small town.
But anyhow, plans. Well, it's the long weekend and it was looking like it was going to be pretty low key. And which was great because I'm going to be traveling for 11 days or so starting on Thursday next week. But we got some plans coming. Sean is about to sell one of his bikes. So we're going to have to go on a road trip to go deliver that, meet the people halfway. So that's kind of fun. Sis, what about you?
Well, no pits for myself either. Yeah, it's been a very, very good week. Just pretty basic. It's been very busy. My peak, well, my friend Jolyn did a online giveaway for a Juice Plus pack of supplements. And I've had these before and I really like them, but I couldn't afford to do that. Plus, I do the Beachbody workout stuff. So I had to give up one, and my girlfriends and I do all the Beachbody stuff. So I won the prize pack yesterday. So I was super pumped because usually when I win one thing, I get going on a winning streak. So remember a few years ago, I won that pellet grill smoker, the Traeger pellet grill smoker. That was right around this time. And then I won something else, and then I won that 15,000.
Yes. Chase the ace. Chrissy won 15,000.
Yeah, so I won this Juice Plus pack. So we'll see what else comes my way. Anyways, and Mom and I went out for Mother's Day, and we had a fantastic day last weekend. We went out on Saturday, and yeah, we went out for lunch to the Mercury Cafe in Regina. We had burgers and fries, just this little diner kind of place. It was cool. I haven't been there in forever. And then we went plant shopping, and that's something that Mom and I both love to do. It's our favorite. I mean, my love for gardening totally stems from my mother. And then a great grandmother. But anyway, so we just had so much fun plant shopping and finding new plants. Mom loves to find new weird plants. And then Stacey and I bought her, she was hoeing and humming about this cinnamon tree thing, and she wouldn't pull the trigger and buy it for herself. So Stacey and I bought that for her for Mother's Day. So yeah, it was a really special day with her. And then Mark, he is such a prince. He got my garden all worked up for me before we just got like an inch of rain at the farm. So that's pretty awesome. So I'll be able to get planting real soon. I had to order a part for my rototiller. That came in this week. So great. That's awesome. Plans for this week. I don't really have a lot of plans. I'm working late every night this week. It's just full on right now. So usually I start work at 10 in the morning and I'll work until 8 at night. So it gets a little bit crazy for me. So there's no real plans for anything in there this week. And then next weekend, I'm going to start planting my garden. So that is going to consume my life for the next little bit. So I'll be on the weekends, I'll just be playing in the dirt and trying to get everything planted within a couple weeks. And then it's just full on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have really any. Let me think here. I need to write these things down because my memory is shit. But
very relatable.
Actually, Tuesday I have an appointment with Christine. So my first appointment with her since our group. She's my somatic, I call her somatic practitioner, somatic healer. I don't know what you want to call her. Therapist, whatever. And she's gonna be on in June. Anyway, so I'm good, and you guys have heard me talk about her a lot. So it's my first appointment back with her on Tuesday. I can't wait to see her.
I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to her because I think I successfully recovered from a little bit of shit that was happening over the last little bit. But I think my nervous system was pretty fucked up we had a couple intense weekends in a row, the fire, we had to deal with sorting cattle, we had to unfortunately euthanize a bull. I think, and then, we had some family stuff come up, and I think it just took a toll on me. And so I just want to kind of touch base with her and kind of work through some of that stuff, that the residual that might still be kicking around a little bit, because I feel exhausted. Like, it's pretty crazy the last couple weeks. But anyway, I'm excited to see her and see what kind of hoedown we have together, because I just finished that course. I got really great tools in my toolbox, and then just the world wanted to test every one of them out.
And I think you did awesome, sis.
Yeah, well, I'm feeling pretty good about everything. I've been trying to be pretty graceful with myself and just because me, I'm like, I got to do this and I got to do that. And there's all these things that, today, I just couldn't get out of bed early and I didn't even work out, but I just needed to let my body not, that kind of thing. So I just tried to be just easy on myself this week and sleep a lot, read, have hot baths, just be outside a little bit. And, and I think that's what you really got to do when you start to go through some things in life. But anyway, yeah, otherwise, all is well. That's pretty much going to do her for us tonight. That was kind of a fun episode, sis.
We had some good giggles in there tonight, that's for sure.
I needed that today. That was beautiful. I absolutely I love a good laugh, and I just can't stop. It's so good.
And when it's at my expense.
Well, That's one thing you're always, it's not even at your expense. Oh, sometimes you think I'm laughing at you, but the thing is that you are so funny that it just, you, you're funny and it makes me laugh so hard. This is not me laughing at you. You just crack me up because you just do. I can't even do, but anybody with sisters will know this because they will have a sister that they'll know the feeling. It's not I'm laughing at you ever. I love you so much for your hilarity. Like you are freaking hilarious.
I don't actually think I have much humor at all in me, but thank you.
I think the reason it's funny to me is because I know you so well and you're so genuine and you're just so you that you don't even know. Like you're just talking away about my pans. Well, no, this is not pots and pans. These are pan flutes and it's a different just how you were so matter of fact about it. Like it's funny shit. So anyway, and this goes on all the time with you and it just cracks me up. So
Yeah,
I love that about you.
I don't know if we've had one of these moments on the show yet. So this is things to be expected at the next 60 to 100 episodes. Who knows?
Did we tell everybody that this is episode 20, by the way?
Oh, yeah, no, we did not.
This is our 20th episode, you guys. 20. We have been pounding away at this for 20 weeks straight. That's pretty great. So with that, we want to say a huge thank you to you guys for getting us to our 20th episode. We are having so much fun, as we tell you guys all the time. So thank you for tuning in, for listening, for your comments, your likes, when you guys subscribe, all that good stuff. We absolutely appreciate all of it. And if you guys like an episode, you think somebody else will really like it, share it with your friends because that's how we're going to get more exposure is if you guys share the episodes, tell your friends, family about us. We would absolutely love and appreciate that so much. So where can they find us on social media, sis?
Yeah, if you love us so much, please follow Sister Social Call on Instagram. You can find Chrissy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can Snapchat her. You can find Chrissy on YouTube with her blooms and brush strokes and outgrowing. And you can find me, Stacey, on LinkedIn or on Facebook.
Right on. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We appreciate it all so much.
Love you, sissy.
Love you, sis.